Okay, what we're going for here is the Automata assembly, and we'll do just an assembly with one cam. Your actual Automata toy is going to have to be assembled differently, but this is what we're going for. And you'll notice that we've got lots of work planes helping with this assembly. In fact, just to kind of review good practices and procedures, number one, make sure that all of your Automata files are in one project folder. Don't use any subfolders. There's really no need to for this assembly. The first step you're going to do is assemble and ground the box. Those mid-planes really should be used. Inventor likes math, but it likes geometry a lot better. And the transitional constraint that you use towards the end of this assembly wreaks a lot of havoc on just mating the axle to the cam itself. So what we want to do is make sure you have a mid-plane and axis on your crank, your axle, your bushing, all your cams, the roller, follower, the guide, and the box top. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. And then you can toggle off the visibility of those work planes and work axes as needed. But the key is every part of the crankshaft needs to be constrained to the crank. Keep every constraint back to one part. As we go through this, then we'll see that if your cams are not built correctly geometrically, you will have issues, and this will not drive itself. So then you have the fun part of going back to fix it. But you must use axes and mid-planes to do this assembly. Okay? So let's go back and look at what we're talking about here. So you can see I've brought all my parts in for a simple assembly. And I have a mid-plane and an axis turned on for each one. Starting out this assembly, we'll just go ahead and pick the axle bushing and insert that. Remember to click apply so that everything sticks. And then I'm going to take the crank and insert that into the bushing. Okay, so if I look at this right now, they line up with each other, but they don't spin together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mate the mid-plane with the mid-plane. Okay, so now when I rotate them, we can see that they are both spinning together. Okay, next step is I'm going to put the axle in. So when I do the axle, and I'm going to take the axis of the axle and mate that to the axis of the crank. Okay, so right now, what I've got there is that lines up. Then we'll go ahead and again mate one mid-plane to the mid-plane of the crank. And finally, I could very simply just flush the crank outside of the crank face to the axle. Okay, next step, which would be very simple, I'll go ahead and put the bushing in on the other side in the same way. So an insert, and apply, and then go ahead and do a mate of work planes so that they line up and they spin together. Okay, so what we have right now is degrees of freedom, just rotational degree of freedom on the crank, and everything is moving together. Okay, next we'll go ahead and put one of the cams in. So for this, we'll go ahead and again mate the axis to the axis. Okay, so I know that looks like it's moving around like crazy. It's really not. And then what I want to do, since I have a horizontal and a vertical plane, the way I want these to line up, let's say I just rotated this cam around. Let's say I want these two to line up with each other in this fashion. I'm going to, instead of doing mating the planes, if I had this vertical plane in, I could do that, but I don't. So I'm going to do a 90-degree angle constraint of the midplane on the cam to the midplane on the crank. So that gives me a 90-degree angle. Okay, and next I want this cam to line up right below the hole. So I will go ahead and mate that midplane to the axis. Okay, so at this point, this gives us a crankshaft assembly where everything on the crankshaft is constrained to the crank. And if I had additional holes, additional cams, I would just have to do that with those also. Same procedure. So we'll pause right here and then move on.